The White Light Apprenticeship Scheme came about after a conversation with myself and Brian about formalising the way we bring people into White Light and train them. And the apprenticeship scheme seemed an obvious choice for new starters at the beginning to give them the ground knowledge to come on board with White Light.
My involvement in apprenticeship schemes was quite heavy in the early days, setting it up, working with ATG, but over the years I've been needed less and less as the HR team, and Chris Nichols has taken on more and more responsibility.
I'm involved in the actual recruitment process, giving the people tasks to do to see how they fit in, if the apprenticeship scheme's right for them.
I first heard about the White Light Apprenticeship Scheme when I was at the Brit School for Performing Arts and Technology, studying technical theatre.
Chris Nichols came over to the Brit School and he gave a little presentation about White Light and its apprenticeship scheme.
I managed to get some work experience here for 2 weeks, and I found out there was actually an apprenticeship scheme.
I went to a Beck2 careers fair, and actually Jack Bass, who was one of the previous apprentices, I found him there and we started talking about the apprenticeship.
I think what made me want to apply for the apprenticeship here at White Light was it was a good way to get into the industry. There wasn't a lot of companies that would just employ straight out of college, and I knew I didn't want to go to uni. I wanted to get that practical first-hand experience of working at a bigger lighting company.
An apprenticeship kind of seemed like the right kind of way to go about kind of expanding my technical knowledge.
My friend, she gave me a link to the White Light website for the application form.
I remember it being fairly simple. It allowed for a lot of room for me to express myself. A lot of it was asking questions about who you are, what you were interested in.
Why I want to do the apprenticeship, why I want to be a technician.
And then the actual visit was really great to have.
I can remember walking in for the first time and I was just thinking, wow, this is huge. As soon as you walk out onto the mez in our main warehouse and just see the vast amounts of kit, it was just insane.
To be completely honest, I kind of described it as Disneyland. So I kind of walked in and just kind of like the sheer size of the warehouse and looking at everything and thinking, wow, okay, I'm going to eventually learn about everything. That was really exciting to me.
Also, I'm involved with Liz Thompson in structuring the movement of the apprentices around different departments to gain the underpinning knowledge before they then go on site and put that knowledge into practice.
There was quite a few occasions where we got the opportunity to go on site and work. One that stands out is, I don't know why, is just spending a week at Harry Potter World for some reason seemed to excite me at the time. Just getting to go places where you wouldn't normally go.
One of my fondest memories of when I was an apprentice and I had to go work on an event was the UNICEF Halloween ball, and it was just the sheer size of it, the kit that was used, because obviously I focused more on audio, and then the main act was Rita Ora.
Over the years, Chris Nichols certainly worked with the Trailblazer group for the creative venue technician, and John McAvoy worked with the live events technician Trailblazer group. So we've got a couple of standards now that are where the training is absolutely fit for purpose and is absolutely the training we need.
The scheme has grown in the amount of apprentices we've taken on. We took initially on 4 in 1 year, and we now usually take on 3 or 4 twice or sometimes 3 times a year. We've also extended what they're given as part of the apprenticeship, which can be things like placement at theatres, event venues and things like that, which developed after the apprenticeship scheme had started.
It was a great apprenticeship for me. I learned a lot about the inner workings and behind the scenes of live events, corporate events. Obviously got to go out on site, which helped a lot with my understanding of how events are run in a professional environment.
I started with operations, and that allowed me to kind of understand what all the equipment was. You learn a lot of things really quickly.
I've been ops, cables, rigging, and currently in bench now.
I remember at the time not really being sure which way I wanted to go, what department I wanted to work in, what I wanted to specialise in, but having that ability to move around and then find where you want to be in a company was very useful.
If you do progress after the apprenticeship and get a job, you've already got a head start because you know everyone, you know how the company works, you know, the process is sort of like a kickstart into the industry, really. You're learning and working and getting paid in the apprenticeship.
The best thing about the scheme is the fact that there are still a couple of apprentices here who joined as apprentices back in 2011, 2012, and they're still with the company. So many of the apprentices are key members of staff and are absolutely vital to the business.
Future of the apprenticeship scheme, apart from just continuing, I think is to develop, to involve other companies as the same thing. Part of what I'm interested in doing is showing other companies how good it is to have apprentices, to actually put their mind at ease that it's not a hassle. They bring a lot to the table when they come on board.
I certainly would like to see the apprenticeship scheme continue to grow. Staff retention of ex-apprentices is very high. I'd like us to be introducing more standards. We've already had one successful business administration apprentice who's still with us a year after she passed her apprenticeship, and I think we should be looking at more across the group.
I hope to be able to stay here at White Light. I like everything about the company and the way they handle the apprentices, and you know, all the staff here, credit to them. They take their time to teach you, to make sure you understand.
I guess to become more of a rounded technician, to not just be sound-based, to be able to do lighting, and I guess also expand my knowledge in sound, because I know how to do it practically, but I don't necessarily have much technical knowledge, so I believe that this course will help me achieve that, if that makes sense, and set me up for the future.
I'm just kind of wanting to learn about every single aspect and, you know, better prepare myself for a career in the technical industry.
The whole scheme gives me pride. Seeing people develop gives me great pride. Individual things, I think something like our apprentices working on the Vaults Festival gives me great pride to see that. It's a brilliant festival, and it's a chance for the apprentices to create a venue straight from scratch underneath arches.
Just come and have a look around, speak to people. If it's what you're interested in, it's exactly what I did, and I've been here almost 7 years now.
Go and get that practical experience and find where you want to work.